Today we are going to learn how to paint the model, and the easiest way to do that is to think of the form as a series of shapes of value. When light is cast across the body, it's visible in some parts more than others. These areas may connect from head to toe, either in highlight or shadow, and shift depending on the sculptural planes of the body. If we squint our eyes, we can see these similarities. In reality, there are 10 shades of light and dark that make up a value scale. Together, all 10 represent photorealism. When we make an illustration, though, we only need 3 to 4 values to achieve a likeness. For this demonstration, we will be using acrylics. In my palette setup, I'm choosing to use an enamel tray to mix my paint on. If you choose to use one too, remember to wrap the tray and press and seal saran wrap when you are done in order to reuse your paint. I actually use 2 water buckets, one inside the other, in case I ever need clean water. Start by laying a folded piece of paper towel inside the enamel tray and wetting it. Then squeeze out a generous amount of paint onto the paper towel. Periodically remember to spray your tray with more water as you work so that the paint doesn't dry. We are only using black and white in this exercise because color has its own complications and is not important in the very beginning. The way you paint is actually closer to how you draw. Everything needs to have structure and form through value, regardless of the colors you may ultimately choose. Before you start painting the model, pre-mix 2 to 3 values of gray on your palette with a generous amount of paint and thoroughly mix. Make sure that each value is distinct from one another. To check, see if the edge between 2 values is soft or hard. If they are soft, that means the values are too similar and you'll need to adjust. If you do not pre-mix your values and grab as you go, there's a better chance that your sense of paint will be uneven or muddy. When you are ready, block in the model with a gesture drawing in the first 1 to 2 minutes, with only black paint. This will serve as the foundation for what's to come next. You want to make sure that your figure drawing captures proportion, weight, and volume in its line, weight, and gesture. If you have to adjust anything, do so now. When you look back at the model, start to pay attention to how it's being lit. The easiest way to do this is to look for the shadows. Starting with the darkest shadow, block in those shapes in black or a dark gray. Try to find ways to connect those shapes from head to toe and left to right. Remember to work the background at the same time. This will help you see if the colors you are mixing are correct. Repeat this approach for another of the pre-mixed gray values from your palette. Resist the urge to blend grays. Stick to shapes with definite edges. Often, we have to get more opaque or thick with the application of paint in order to cover up white of the paper showing through our brush strokes. Water also complicates this. There are also shapes of value happening in the background, both large and small. These are important to help an edge of the form recede or come forward. Remember to always be looking back and forth between the model and your paper to make sure that what you're painting is actually what you're seeing. Be sure to also weigh this against what you remember about anatomy. When working on the face, remember to look for the 5 shadow shapes, which are the shadow of the eye socket, the shadow under the nose, the shadow of the upper lip, the shadow under the lower lip, and the shadow under the chin. These shapes may vary depending on the lighting, but they give an overall likeness to a face.